What's happening? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles live, worldwide live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records, and Skateboards, and Your Core Hardcore fan page. What's up, everybody? Everybody, what's up? Drug-free youth. What's up? Who's ready for a show today rich in New York hardcore folklore and history? I am, for sure. What's going on, everybody? Hey, May, how's London? What's going on, May? What it is. What else? What's happening out there? What's up, Adam? What's up, Dom? Good to see everybody. Everybody, what's up? Let me get my act together here. Down here in Florida. Hey, I know what you're wondering. What's coming up on the show? Let's get that out of the way here. Coming up this Sunday, January 17th, Scotty Vogel from Terror and Buried Alive. A week from today, Sean Taggart, the artiste. Igor Cavalera coming up. That is Sunday, January 24th. And then Wednesday, January 27th, which is, what's that? So Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday. Yeah, okay. A week from Wednesday is Mina Caputo from Life of Agony. Life of Agony. So there you go. What's up, Todd Hamilton? Haven't seen you in a minute, bro. What's going on? Bremen, Germany checking in. What's going on? And I Am Abused, Mike Marino. All right. Welcome to the club, buddy. You know, there you go. That said, what's going on with the hardcore shutterbug, Steven Messina? Ready to make some popping sounds.
Everyone's used on this show.
I told you my Uncle Richie called my dad and was like, he said to my dad, he's like, Drew was pretty harsh on his pretty rough on his guys today.
You're like Vincent Price in the Ten Commandments.
Vincent Price. What's that? Vincent Price. The Price is Right. That one.
Exactly.
Was Vincent Price in the Ten Commandments?
Of course.
Really?
Yeah. He was one of the masters.
He's one of the what?
One of the taskmasters.
A taskmaster.
The master builder.
All right. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Remember Charlton Heston, are you a master builder or a master butcher?
Soil and greed is made of people.
He got all the best lines.
Welcome to the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Soil and greed is made of people. Just get your filthy hands off me, you dirty, stinking apes. There you go. Is that a Gallo hoodie?
This is a Mike Gallo.
May wants to know. I didn't know if that was a Gallo hoodie. I want one.
It's very comfortable.
Steve McNeil, what's up from Napa, California, fellas? All right, Steve, have a drink on me while you're out there, bro.
Nice.
You know what I mean? All right, are we ready for
Let's do it.
Let's do photo of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, hardcore shutterbug. Wrong answers only, please. Here we go. Photo of the day. Boom. All right, here we go. What do you got? What's he wearing? A tie-dye, this guy?
Hippie.
Fucking hippie. Yep. Is that right? Lily Munster was in the Ten Commandments?
Oh, yeah, I believe she was.
What was her name? What was Lily Munster's name?
Yvonne DiCarlo?
She was gorgeous. I'm sorry. Yvonne DiCarlo kind of rings my bell. Is it Ian Ziering? Is it Anthrax? Is it the Beach Boys? Oh, Yo, Guinness Girlie comes up with some. I got to give it up. You come up with some good shit, hun. Someone stepping on a Lego. Wow, this is good too, Dom. Good call. Is it Chris Farley? Is it Mark Hamill?
They're getting creative out there.
Is it Ricky Schroeder? All right, kind of good. Is it William Zabka? I don't know who William Zabka is.
William Zabka is the Johnny from the Karate Kid.
Is it Zach Morris of Saves by the Bell?
Oh my God.
Tom Cochran? Who's Tom Cochran?
And the Young Rumblers. I remember him. Remember Life is a Highway?
Life is, I want to take it. If life is a highway, I want to take it all night long. Wasn't he from Canada, that dude?
Yeah, he was from that band Red Rider.
Red Rider. Lunatic Fringe. That one?
That's it.
All right, man. Listen, don't mess with the God of Rock trivia. I will crush you. Is it Michael Bolton?
Michael Bolton.
What was Michael Bolton's big hit?
Oh God, he sounded like a howling dog.
Hated that dude, man. That's a dude I hated, like him and Billy Joel. David Bowie. Come on. We could, we could do funnier than that. All right, here we go. How about some right answers? Anybody?
Yeah.
Is it Blood Clot? Is it some surfer dude? Come on. Right answers. I know someone's got one. Is it Bob Backlund? Good one, Shecky. I got to give it up. Good one. Juice Newton, Sting, Rob Kardashian.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, here we go.
Someone's got to have it.
Well, yeah, okay, let a couple more come through. Should we show picture number 2?
Sure.
Here's a clue. Here's a clue. Here's another photo from that set. This is a little out of focus, very hardcore shutterbug like, but here's another clue. Here you go. There you go. That's a clue. What band is this? Who was that singing? Come on. Is it? Boy, people have. Wow, I'm kind of surprised. We got an old school show here. Man, people just are not. People are weak. You know what? You're all fired, man.
Yeah, man.
Was it Kenny Waste? We have to go with our standby guys. Kenny Waste. Was it Urban Waste? Was it Urban Waste at the Bell House, Victim of Pain?
Look at that, Rat Bones.
Yep. Is it Urban Waste? It's like, all right, what do we got?
All right. The year is 2010, and this was Urban Waste. Actually, the bill was pretty spectacular. It was the anniversary of Victim in Pain, and it was Agnostic Front with the Victim in Pain lineup. And then it was Urban Waste, Antidote, and oh crap, I'm drawing a blank on the other band.
I'm looking at. Hold on, I'm digging out the flyer.
I feel bad.
Keep talking.
But yeah, no, it was a very cold day in Brooklyn, and why can't I think of the other band? Urban Waste,
Ultraviolence.
Ultraviolence. Apologies to Ultraviolence.
There you go. This show.
Yes,
right?
There it is. Yeah, that's a great piece. I have that signed at home too.
Yep.
Yeah, that was an excellent night.
Yeah, we played this show. Nothing for nothing, but we crushed it this show.
Yeah. No, that was a kill. All the bands that day. That was a great night.
Yeah, we crushed it. Yep.
And,
it was Antidote, or it was Agnostic Front, Antidote, Urban Waste, Ultraviolence, and Sexual Suicide.
Oh, I don't remember Suicide.
Yep.
Yep. No, I was about to say that was the last time that I saw Kenny from Urban Waste, and he is no longer with us. I guess he died a few years back. Probably what, 3-4 years ago now.
Yeah, it was a couple of years. Hold on. Sadly, he passed away. He sang on the iconic Urban Waste 7-inch from the first wave of New York hardcore. Of course, our guest today is a part of that as well. But you know, Kenny was the who sang on that, and you know, I think the geographic end of things, they sort of it got too difficult for him to come up to New York for every show, and they sort of segued to Josh, you know, and then he died. He passed away a couple years later.
Yeah, gotta give it up to Josh, who's really flown the flag for them. You know, he's a good guy, and he's.
Here's an interesting one while we're at it. Drew, will Antidote NYHC ever play any of the rock hits at the future shows? I'd like to think so. Yes, definitely Return to Burn, and maybe a couple others. But yeah, definitely, especially since we're turning over a new leaf, so to speak. So yeah. Let's not make it about Antidote, but Return to Burn is going to be in the set list for sure. Especially since we're making some changes with the band, we're going to bring back some things that you might not have heard for the last bunch of years. Anyway, so yeah, rest in peace, Kenny Aaronson.
Absolutely, right. Absolutely, great show.
Absolutely. Abso-friggin-lutely. All right, cool.
This is going to be fun. It was pretty crowded in the backstage area. People stuff over.
Yeah, man, for sure. You know what? You know what I got? You sent me this today, and I don't want to get much into this, but I must compliment you on this photo, bro. I love this photo. This is great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, really nice shot.
Yes.
And for those
walking by morning, you go.
For those that may not know what this is taken in Queens, Flushing, Queens, I believe. This is the site of the 1964 World's Fair. And at one point, these sort of discs, right, went up and down, right?
Yeah, but you could go up into them.
Yeah, but they used to come up and down, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're working on, supposedly it's going to be back to brand new by June.
Yep. Yeah, Men in Black, exactly. That was the background for the film Men in Black. Absolutely.
I think we should broadcast from the top of that thing.
I do. We got to look it up. I think the discs. No, that doesn't make sense. That they could have gone up, and for some reason, I thought that they sort of like went up and down those discs. But I see that they're sort of overlapping.
Right, the top one, yeah.
All right, Lenny would know. Lenny is a Queens guy. He says they were stationary. Okay, yes, Flushing Meadow Park. You know, for those of us that are born in Queens. So there you go. All right, cool. Listen, I'll talk to you in a bit, buddy.
You know, okay.
What?
I'll talk to you in a bit.
Talk to you later.
Oh.
That's it. He was fading. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, Your Core Hardcore fan page, and the Texas Silver Rush. Your Core Hardcore fan page. In the wake of the pandemic, Your Core Chris created Your Core fan page, utilizing lessons learned from over 20 years of being an educator and social worker. He decided to try to reach out to where hardcore punk and the surrounding genre bands create not only their music, but their message. Their interviews are from a psychological perspective to harvest motivation, personal insight, and perspective. Please reach out to them on Facebook or Instagram if you have content to share or you want to promote your band, Your Core Hardcore fan page. Also, while we're at it, New York Hardcore Comics opened back in 2013 when lifelong friends Debo DePro and Lee Fraley combined their collections and obsessions for comic books, punk rock, toys, statues, Magic the Gathering, and all things horror. The store is located at 117 Main Street in lovely Dobbs Ferry, New York. If you want to support them during this pandemic, please contact them via email at newyorkhardcorecomics@gmail.com. That said, I'm ready, you're ready, we're ready. Here we go with
Ragbone! 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 Ragbone!
What?
What?
It's a big day today.
Come on now.
Yo, just to let you know, that shirt that Kenny had on in the photo of the day, a Rap Pitwear original.
Is that right?
That when they were about to go on, I walked up and I was just trying, before I printed any shirts, really, I was doing them like just spray painting a skull on a shirt and just trying to get it out there to get the idea to go. And he's like, sure, I'll wear it right now. He put it right on stage as they were about to go on. And there's a really crazy story to go with that, but I can't even tell it on air.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
man. Kenny,
What's up?
rest in peace, Kenny, man. Good friend, man.
He was an OG.
Yeah, man. I got the poster, man. I got the poster right here for that.
Oh,
night.
wow. There it is.
I mean, I was so wrecked that night. I remember I got all spun out in the back, and like Stella was walking in the front door, like right when it all hit me. And AF went on, and her and Mike were standing, and I did my first stage dive. And who do you think I landed on? Like I wiped out my own girlfriend, knocked her on the floor, everything. Yeah.
Girls don't like that, bro.
No, Mike caught most of it, but shit happens.
What's going on? What do you got today?
I got a couple of really quick collectibles today. I want to go back and show these old school, and they're like these old plastic. They would have been at the counter at the comic book store for like $2 each, but now they're pretty hard to find.
Oh, I like the Wolverine.
These are some of the best ones. There's probably about 20 of them, but they was cool, Silver Surfer, always dug the Silver Surfer. And then one of our favorites, right? Clobbering Time, the thing. So, yeah.
Was that Dr. Doom?
Yeah, Dr. Doom.
I always loved Dr. Doom.
He's cool, man, right?
I love Dr. Doom.
Angel from the X-Men.
Who's that?
Angel from the X-Men.
That's Angel?
Well, it's actually from a different run. It was they do those one-offs where
what was
this is what the movie the Apocalypse movie, X-Men Apocalypse, was the Angel from that comic book run from X-Men.
I remember Dr. Doom's name was Victor Von Doom.
Yeah, man.
Good name for a hardcore band.
He's one of the only
Victor Von Doom.
He's one of the only people that stole the Silver Surfer surfboard. He had the Silver Surfer working for him almost. He tricked the Silver Surfer or whatever. Yeah, comics are dope.
Yeah.
But that's the toy of the day. And I really like the show. I know you guys get sick of Star Wars, so if you don't like Star Wars that much, tune off. Turn the channel for a second now. But I like to show what I get every weekend. Like the stuff I bag, that's the deal I got lately. So it's a collectible. You want to see the collectible of the week? This is the one I got this week. These are 90s from Dark Horse Comics, and they kind of go into the they're really cool, man. I like these characters. It's expanded. You got to understand something about Star Wars fans. We don't really accept a lot of the expanded universe stuff, but something's happened that all that stuff is tying into a lot of the stories, and they're doing it well. So we're kind of getting into it. Like this guy on the back, Thrawn, he's like a really cool character, that's like, people don't know about him unless you're a real nerd like me and you read the books and so Heir to the Empire. I really like this character Thrawn. You see him? He's real savvy. He's not just
that's the Star Wars guy?
Yeah, his name is Admiral Thrawn, and he's got more savvy. He's not just a bad guy. He's kind of like Dr. Doom. He's got elegance. He collects art from all the worlds he plunders. He collects all the fine art and collects it. It's like he's a Sith Lord, He's got.
Is Dr. Doom a bad guy? Is he really a bad guy?
I don't think Dr. Doom.
That's like Magneto. Is Magneto really a bad guy?
Yeah, or out of circumstance.
Like Drew Stone. Is Drew Stone really a bad guy?
You're not that bad, Drew. So look, all I'm going to do is show the rest of these really quick. They're graphic novels. I got them for that could probably sell these 15 each, and I got 5 for 20. When if you're at the flea market and you're gonna pay $5 for an item, and you're gonna take 5 of them, you got to knock 5 off and try to get the deal. Like that's how I do it. That's one of my little always go-tos. Like if you're gonna get them and they got an extra one, like try not to pay for it. Feel like you got something, And I don't only do Star Wars. There's a big thing about Star Trek people and Star Wars people. Like there's the wars. You don't go with the Trekkies. But I've been like crossing over, and I bought this. This is a Star Trek book, but it's based off the TV series, I think, the old one that we grew up with. So,
Pretty what?
Cool $1 at the flip thrift store. It's what I do.
Go right.
Go ahead.
I told you before that, part of my like mindless wandering, like sometimes I have to like just walk away and stare at TV, just like, so I have rewatched every single Star Trek episode. Now, I'm not the biggest Star Trek dude. Me and my brother watched it growing up, and I know all about it. But I watched they're all remastered now, So I watched the whole thing, right? Just because, like, sometimes it helps relax me, like, before I go to bed, whatever. If I need 10 minutes, watch some really bad Star Trek episode, right? So I figured when those are done, you know what? I'm gonna start watching those movies, right? So I start watching that first Star Trek movie, and I'm like, what is this? Is this like a Star Wars movie? It was like the biggest Star Wars pinch. It was just sort of like, I think the same guy did the music. It was it was obvious that they like on the success of Star Wars, they were like, yo, you better dust off like that Vulcan dude and get him out here. And like, we're gonna dress this beat old show up, and we're gonna try to catch in on the Star Wars thing.
Yeah, man. I mean, that happened on TV too. I mean, Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century.
Yep.
All those were just spin-offs of trying to get that money because Star Wars was doing so well. And in rock and roll, they did the same thing too. I always felt that, like,
Guinness Girly bringing it again. I dressed as Yeoman Rand. Me and my brother were just talking about Yeoman Rand this morning. He wasn't sure who she was. She was like on the first 7 episodes of Star Trek. And like, she was sort of like Kirk's love interest, but they were like, yo, Kirk can't be having a love interest. Like, Kirk's got to be a rambling, gambling kind of dude. And like, like making out with like green chicks and stuff like that all over. Exactly. We can't, so they like wrote her off the show.
Yeah. I was going to say, he's got to be available for the green ladies of the universe, or.
Listen, bro, next to that girl in Avatar. The girl in Avatar, who was that? With the tail? Next to that girl in Avatar, that green girl is winning in the universe, bro.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, bro, I got to keep it moving.
All right, guys.
All right.
We'll see you. We'll see you in a minute. We'll come back on.
Ragbone! 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 Ragbone!
Well, there you go. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, Your Core Hardcore fan page, and the Texas Silver Rush. That said, let's get it moving here. Let's bring our guest on. Make sure everybody's okay. Is that right? You named after her? Like in real life or in sort of like fantasy world? Wow. Oh, you're named after the actress. What's the actress's name? What's up, Rich Zoller? Assassin of photography. Yo, Tel Aviv in the house. Ori Frank. Yo, Ori, we're doing this thing tomorrow for my film. Don't forget, 10 a.m. my time. Important stuff for my new film. Somebody asked, aren't we doing a new film down? We are. And I'm trying to make the show work as well. We're shooting down here on Saturday. That said, let me clear the deck. What the heck? And let me bring, hey, what's up? You got to get another New York Hardcore pillow? What are you doing with them pillows, bro? Are you doing with those pillows what I do with those pillows? All right. That said, let me clear the deck. Let's bring on our guest today. Guest of today. Let's line it up. What the heck? All right. Here we go. What do you know? Everybody behaving themselves. No troublemakers out there. Here we go. Today's guest is an American singer and artist, best known for his work with one of the first wave of American hardcore bands, The Abused. As an artist, he is known for his incredible original flyer artwork and is the creator of the New York hardcore logo. Coming at us from Pahatcong Township in New Jersey, our old friend, A7 alumni represent, Mr. Kevin Crowley. What's up, bro?
Yo, what's up, Drew? It's just like a tongue twister. Pahatcong Township, right?
Wow, that's really something else, man.
I know, man.
How are you?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good, bro. I'm leading a really nice, good life now, and I'm really grateful for it. The show is successful. I'm doing my new film. I got all kinds of great stuff going on, and it's just great. Let's just jump right into it. Now, your situation's a little bit different. A lot of people that come on the show, I'm like, what happened when this thing hit? You know, and people are like, I had to cancel this tour, and we were doing this, and da-da-da-da. But I guess to a certain extent, you know, the question still pertains. How did things change for you, you know, when the zombie apocalypse hit?
Actually, at first it was a little strange because I work in retail. So we closed down our physical location. So I had a little more free time than I normally do on my hands. But, you know, for us, you know, we've been really fortunate where it hasn't financially really hasn't had a negative impact on us, you know, so knock on wood as far as that goes. We did, believe it or not, you know, I just, you know, I was tested positive for COVID last Tuesday. My wife has it. I have it. My son has it.
Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So knock on wood.
You didn't tell me that.
Hold on. Knock on wood. But,
Hey, Laura, hey, our old friend Laura Zeitlin says hi.
hey, Laura, how's it going?
Yep.
But so I feel pretty fortunate with the mildness that it's hit me with. I mean, I've winded that kind of stuff, but
Do you have any idea how you got it?
I have no clue. You know, could probably was from the supermarket. You know, it's who knows. You know, and you know, you wash your hands 1,000 times. I probably washed my hands more in the past year than I have in my entire life. You know, it's but hey, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so how did you come up? Where were you born and raised? How did music come into your life?
So born in New York City, lived a little bit all over the place. You know, grew up when I was younger. We moved from New York to Pennsylvania, a small town called Lansford,
Oh yeah.
of all places. You know, so I think really my first real exposure to music was my older sister had a band that they did. They played like Black Sabbath covers and.
Was your sister singing?
No, she was the drummer.
Oh wow. She was the Bill Ward in the outfit.
Yes, yep. You know,
That's commendable, man.
So they it was a mix. She's very musical. She plays keyboard, she plays drums, she plays a lot of instruments. But so I grew up listening to things like Black Sabbath, David Bowie, Led Zeppelin, you know, all that real early stuff from the late 60s, early 70s.
The stuff they call classic rock now. But when you and I were growing up, because we're the same age, it wasn't classic rock yet. It was just sort of like hard rock or rock and roll, right?
Yeah, it was mainstream music at the time, right?
Led Zeppelin and yep, for sure. You lived down in the Lower East Side at some point, right?
Yeah, so I actually lived on in 103 Avenue A back in the 70s. I would have been 8 years old, so that would have been 1973, 74. pretty. It was a different place back then than it is now.
Yeah, and 73, 74, you were like 10, 11 years old, right?
Yeah, I was like 8 years old, 9 years.
So do you have any recollections? I mean, you were like a couple blocks from A7, but I mean, you were a kid, but any recollections of Avenue back then?
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. It was a shit show.
and you know what? And Ray's egg cream is still there, you know?
Hey, the Leshko's was still there.
Sure.
You know, I remember eating Leshko's French, challah bread French toast. But so Leshko's was there. Thompson Square Park was pretty much a shutdown park. You know, back
an open air drug market.
100%. You know, I mean, every place was an open air drug market back then. You know, a friend of mine at the time. And actually, he's people probably know who he is. Dante Ross was a good friend of mine back when I was in third grade.
Wow!
And so he lived on. So I lived on right on Avenue A between 6th and 7th Streets.
Mm-hmm.
He lived on 2nd Street between B. I think he was between B and C. So it was even more bombed out. Over there, you know, but it was.
It's so crazy because thinking back, even a couple of years when I was started going down there as a teenager, you could not imagine that place was ever going to turn out to be what it is now, which is like basically sort of like the French Quarter in fucking New Orleans. You know, it's like it's like it is. I know you haven't been there in a minute. It is mind-boggling what's going on that stretch of Avenue A now. It is literally like Georgetown College. It's like you think it's like it's a NYU like stretch of bars. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's it is nuts, man. It was like, and everything was really back then was. There were different neighborhoods. Like 6th Street was a big, like it was actually that whole part of Lower East Side was a real Ukrainian neighborhood.
That's right. Yep. How did music? How did hardcore come into your orbit, and how did you get involved with the band and all that?
So, I guess really, my first real exposure was when I went to Music and Art High School. So I had, for 2 years, I had actually lived prior to that. I mean, I was all over the place. So from 1978 to 1980, I was actually living in Israel. And I went to boarding school there. Then
where in Israel, if I may ask?
It was a place called Hadassim. It was near a town called Netanya. So, which is about halfway between Tel Aviv and Haifa.
Of course. Now those are touchstones I can, you know, my new film I shot in the Middle East, and I shot in Haifa and I shot in Tel Aviv. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure, and it's a lot different. When I was over there, it was all orange groves, and a lot different now.
Yeah.
You know, but I haven't been there since 1980. So I came back in 1980, and then I went to Music and Art High School.
You know, you're like, I think every show we got somebody on that's on Music and Art. I think. Who do we have on the last show that was? I think our last guest went to Music and Art. Who was our last guest? Joe Affey from Joe Affey. I don't think you know him. He's younger than us. But Music and Art really pumped them out, man. Really pumped out the New York hardcore kids, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was pretty cool. So like when I got there, basically all the hardcore kids stood out and all the punks stood out like kids like a sore thumb. And I was like, oh, who the fuck are those guys? You know, I was always a rebel at heart, and you know, was learned at an early age to be self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. So you know, it just kind of, I think what appealed to me was that do-it-yourself, working class kind of mentality and attitude kind of permeated the vibe of that scene in a lot of ways. So, and the music was just, dude, I was just an angry kid, man. I'll tell you what.
You were a big kid too, man. I remember you as like when we were teenagers. You were a big kid, man.
But you know what, dude? I weighed like 180 pounds or 60 pounds soaking wet. So it was how I portrayed myself. It was I drew all those characters like they were all comic book characters.
So do I remember this correctly? But you're one of the guys that kind of like got exposed to it. You went to Max's early on and then kind of fell into the A7 thing. Tell us about that. So
yeah, I started going to places like I went to Max's Kansas City. I would just go there on a I was going there by myself. I was 15 years old, just going to the Ritz, going wherever, just trying to kind of find my way. The first hardcore show I saw was an A7, was an A7, and that was just like it was funny. It's like Max's. Once you went to a show at A7, going to places like Max's and CBGB's and seeing punk bands, they seemed like that was mainstream compared to what the hardcore scene was doing, which was that was much more intense. So like when I went to my first hardcore show, that was it. The hook was set. I was just like.
Do you remember your first hardcore show?
You know what? I can't remember who was playing. I can't. I just remember hanging out there on being outside, most of the time being outside because it would get so hot inside A7. The set would break. Everybody would run outside. And it was wintertime because I just remember the steam coming off everybody's heads when we were standing outside. I
have an early photo. I think it's pretty much from that era. There you are with that cigarette hanging out of your mouth, right?
Oh yeah, yep. So that is actually myself, and my best friend at the time in the middle was a guy named Kerry Craker.
Uh-huh.
And then next to him is Youngblood. So we were like we were a bit of a trio back then in high school. And so funny, interesting, that jacket is the jacket that ultimately became the vest that I got known for wearing.
The drug-free youth vest?
Yep, you got it. If you look on the right-hand sleeve, that's actually a Dead Kennedy's logo. You can't really make it out, but I painted on there. And then Rude Boys on the lapels from the Clash. But
hey, our friend Danielle LePage from Blood says hi.
Hey Danielle, how's it going?
Yep, they're coming out of the woodwork for you, bro.
Hey, when you're referred to as part of New York hardcore history, it makes you feel a little old, though, dude. Come on.
Listen, you can not. Here's an interesting. Let me read you this little bit of, and I quote you. I used to give haircuts to people in the bathroom of A7. I walked around with a set of clippers in my backpack, and I would just cut people's hair. Is that right?
100%. I gave a shit ton of haircuts in that bathroom. It was like
pure peer pressure, like fucking shit. Yo, are you because like was that 82? It was like, are you with us?
Probably more like even 80 and like 81, and it was just it'd be like. It was definitely hey, we didn't force anybody. Let me put it in there. We didn't force anybody. We might have coerced people.
Yeah.
I might have been a little less than forthcoming as to how much I was going to take off the top, but I don't think no harm, no foul. I don't think anybody in the end was scarred for life by getting their hair cut in the bathroom at A7.
Here's a flyer, and we're going to get into the art stuff in the second half of the show. But this is how on top of it enthusiastic you were about things. This is an A7 coming. This is and the Abused coming soon flyer. Tell me how the Abused came about.
So they were already a band. They were a 3-piece band before I joined them, and actually there was a couple of renditions. So they had swapped drummers with Reagan Youth before I joined. So Charlie, who was part of the band when I first started, was actually drummed for Raymond Youth before, and I believe it was Steve was drumming for the Abused, and then he went over to Reagan Youth. Mm-hmm. So they were a 3-piece, and I guess they were just like looking for a front man, and I was just kind of a scene fixture by then. And it was kind of the interview kind of went like this: "Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up?
Hey, wait, hold on. We'll do it. Go ahead. Wait, hold on. Wait, you go over here. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So it basically went like, "Hey, what's up? Hey.
No.
Oh, we're gonna do it. All right. So you're gonna be me, or you're gonna be the band guy?
I'll be you.
Okay. So, hey, dude, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, you ever think of singing in a band?
Not really, but whatever. I'm hanging out all the time anyway.
All right. Hey, you want to join our band?
Yeah, sure. When are we playing?
I don't know. We'll set up a rehearsal. But all right, cool, man.
Should I go into the back of A7 to Dave's and put our name on the calendar and we'll play you next week?
Just about. No, but so the funny
Remember
thing,
that? You go to the back and like you this is how miraculous this was. You go to the back to Dave's office, which was like his kind of like creepy coke place, and there was like a sheet, a piece of paper with the date on pencil, and you take the pencil and you just sketch in your band's name. You just go, okay, the High and the Mighty, but I think the rule was you can only play like once every 2 weeks or something. You couldn't go back, or no, you could only put it in once, and then you play again, and you could go right back and do it again.
Yeah, it was there was some rule there, but it was fun. But the funny thing is like we got so serious. We're like, all right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna be we're gonna kick ass. So we rehearsed our asses off. At the time, everybody aspired to be like play as tight as the Bad Brains. Like you wanted to be like. I mean, those guys were a few years older than us, right? Mm-hmm. So they were, probably, playing their instruments a lot longer, and just they had a very high level of musicianship and a very high performance level, and so it was always it was always like the aspiration, like, all right, we want to be that good. So we rehearsed. We were very, very cognizant of how we marketed ourselves back then. That was the whole coming soon flyer. Like, I'm like, we wanted to hype the shit out of ourselves before we even started playing. And it
worked. And people would get psyched. I did the same thing with the High and the Mighty. The High and the Mighty coming soon, hardcore, and like handed them out and like before we ever played.
That was the reason for all the flyer art. It was like, all right, that was going to become. I see Randy's message down there.
Actually,
hey, I swear we gave it back. I swear we gave it back after the shoot. He was the one shooting the picture here.
Let's give credit where credit's due. This is a Randall Underwood photograph. Thank you, Randall. And Randy's printing up his book now. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, Rand, man, that was. Thank God for people like Randy being around to document everything. That's like makes it's really pretty cool.
For sure. I'm trying to find one of a flyer that I know there's a great. All right, no, we'll go with this. Just some of these. We don't have to go into this. Flyer by show, but I just want to show. We'll circle back for the art, the second part of the show. But I mean, you started this great run of flyers, and if you notice, everyone, they're all numbered on the right. This one going up on the right corner, it's K Crowley 883, flyer number 9, and I've been over to your house and you've shown me this stuff. You have the originals, number 1, number 2, number 3, right? I mean, I know you sold one. Someone gave you an offer you couldn't refuse, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
yeah, it was. So I was total. I mean, you can probably see the influence of my flyers. I was a total comic book nerd in a lot of ways back then. So that heavily influences my drawing, and that was one that was never released. Actually, that flyers.
This looks like a comic book cover.
Yep, it was totally the vibe I was going for. The reason I numbered them is I always thought like, oh, we're going to make these collectible, so that people will keep by numbering them. People will keep them, So.
Yep, absolutely. So the abused get rolling, and it didn't take long for you guys to get into this. Well, I know you made the demo first, and eventually, not long after, you put out this release, which is recognized as one of the iconic first wave New York hardcore releases, along with Urban. It was Urban Waste, Antidote, The Mob, and The Abused. I mean, and Cause for Alarm. And then, of course, Agnostic Front, United Blood. I mean, those were like the staples, those 6-7 inches. But The Abused got out early on. Walk us a little bit through, the how the 7-inch came to be.
Well, actually, it seems like it came out early on in retrospect, but at the time, it seemed like it was taking forever. It was just, I mean, come on. When you're 15, 16, 17 years old, our perception of time is a
day is a week and a month is a year, right?
100%. But so we originally did the demo was done on a 4-track, and in a lot of ways, I think the demo had a grittier vibe to it than the 7-inch, because it was less. In one way, we put less thought into it, so it was a little more natural. But and we did a lot of songs on it, and that's what we were throwing out there to try to get shows and gigs. So we had this thing where we felt we needed to be perfect before we played our first show. Right. We wanted to really impress everybody when we first played. So we rehearsed, did the demo, and then when we started playing around, then we had switched drummers. Brian Dundon came in as our drummer. Charlie left as the drummer, and it brought a little bit of a different sound.
Was this done at Don Fury's?
What was that?
Was it done at Don Fury's? Where was it recorded?
Done at High Five Studios.
Oh yeah, that's where Antidote recorded "Thou Shalt Not Kill," and that's where the Cro-Mags recorded, I think, their first demo. I think with Jerry. Did you record with Jerry Williams?
Yeah, I believe it was with Jerry that we did with. Yep. Crazy. Yeah, it's but so we did a lot. Our sound had changed a little bit by then. Part of it, and it's funny because the material that's on the 7-inch was our older material by then. We had already started, right? So, but it's funny, it's what people know us for. So like when we did a reunion show, at that Knitting Factory, we played one of the songs that was one of our songs from back then, but like nobody recognized it because it was never recorded. And they're like, what is that shit they're playing? But
now when you recorded the 7-inch, the 7-inch finally got, how many did you print up? Do you remember?
I think we only did 500 copies.
I had one of those too, man. Fuck.
I know. Crazy, right?
Do you have one left? Do you have one left? Do you even have one left?
Yeah, I do. I do have one left.
Well, of course, you're sort of you hold on to this stuff. That's right.
I'm a collector, and in a way, I still have my comic book collection from when I was 13 years old. You know, it's like
that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. Let me see. Absolutely, man. Let me see what else. I got a lot of stuff here. Yeah, these. I want to get into the art a little bit later, but oh, you know what? I love. You know what I noticed, you guys. Oh, here you go. Here's a great A7 flyer, and this is gonna segue into the break, and then we're doing a big A7 reveal on the show today. But here, this is a great A7 flyer right here. This is great, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, this is the A7 2+2. Abuse the mob, squirm, 00, faith and scream. What?
Yeah, that's right.
What? Oh my God, that's great, man. This is great.
And you have to be an 80s child to know all the references in that with the Porkies and the.
I'm looking for a number on this one. I don't see a number on this one. Oh, here it is, number 4, flyer 4. Got it. That's cool. That's great. Hey, I'm going to shout out a couple of sponsors, and I'm gonna do this little A7 reveal thing, and we'll be back. And let's talk about the artwork. Let's talk about the New York Hardcore logo. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
See you in a bit. What's happening? This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. We are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, and Your Core Hardcore fan page. Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, located in Lakewood, Colorado, is the Rocky Mountain headquarters for all things punk, hardcore, and metal. What's up, Josh? Established in 2014, they have the largest selection of records, CDs, shirts, stickers, patches, and accessories between Chicago and Los Angeles. From the pit to the ditch, they got your back. Get in touch with them at www.chainreactionrecords.com. Also, while we're at it, Vlad and the Organic Grill. It's a vegan restaurant located in the East Village of New York City at 123 First Avenue. Featured in New York Magazine, the New York Times, and in Veg News. The dishes have won numerous awards, including Best Veggie Burger. They make their own cheeses, sausages, burger patties, and every dish on the menu can be made gluten-free. This year, they're celebrating their 20th anniversary, and they're all about having a great time while enjoying amazing, clean food. After 3 months of being closed and now open for deliveries, get in touch with them and order some great food at www.theorganicgrill.com. Also, want to remind everybody, you want to support this show, there's a Patreon page. It's our community within a community. I release all kinds of never-before-seen stuff, and we do private shows. This show could use your support. Don't be a Hatreon, join Patreon. I want to shout out a bunch of my recent patrons. Big Bry, Michael Hobson, Ori Frank, Tel Aviv represent, Kano X, Chicago, Philip Herman, Stan Fontelakis, Johnny B, Chris Hartnett, Olivis Machir, Meredith Bain, Hedrick Feller, David Funk, get the funk out of my face, Joseph Shortino, Gina B, Devor Gajovek, and Craig Wicker. Thank you all very much for supporting this show. It's your support that makes this happen. It doesn't magically happen. It doesn't magically happen, Jim says. It's not magic, you bums. Support the show. This is important. This is important stuff. You know, you think storming the Capitol building's important? This is important. New York City hardcore folklore is important. Jim needs lotion. Don't be a lurker. Absolutely. What else? Yeah. Boom. What else do I need to remind you of? Girls in the Pit. What's that? Women of the Pit. Excuse me. Support Women of the Pit on Facebook. All you female of the species. All you dudes, not welcome. Also, New York Hardcore Chronicles live merch. There is a link down there. for the New York Hardcore Chronicles merch, including the New York Hardcore logo designed by Stephen Huey, shower curtain, dog hoodie, pillow to prop your girl's ass up on, or your boyfriend's ass up on, whatever rings your bell. It's all there. Also, the Do Good Things Are Good Things Will Come to You line of stuff. The girls' leggings, it's all there. Support the show any way you can. We appreciate it. Want to shout out Upstate Rick and the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live comments crew page. Just a reminder of that. That said, let's talk about something, and let's bring some guests on. Let's clear the deck. What the heck? Here we go. Yo, what's the scenario? Even the Patreon thing. Make your move right now and join Patreon. Don't be a taker. Can't be a taker your whole life and a lurker. Come in from the cold and support the show. Thank you for your patronage. That said, we announced on the last show that on April 27th, Pitchfork New York Hardcore is releasing the A7 Back to the New York Hardcore Roots Music Series compilation. 17 bands. Yes, boys and girls of all ages. 17 bands. It's a lot. A lot of work went into this. We've been working on this for about half a year, and it's finally coming to fruition. Super excited about it, and we're rolling it out in stages. So today we're going to is the big reveal on the first 5 bands. So that said, I want to bring on a couple of the guys. We're going to talk about it a little bit. So the first band that's getting announced for the New York for the A7 compilation, the very first band would be, of course, Crazy Eddie. So here representing Crazy Eddie is Lenny. What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm doing fucking great, Drew. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on. Let's keep it rolling. Let me roll through everybody, and then we'll talk a little bit. Next up, the next big reveal, second band. You know them, you love them. I guess mostly from Jersey at this point. Also featuring, since we're talking about a lot of old school hardcore stuff, Rob Kabula. Let's bring on AG from Dead Blow Hammer. What's up, bro?
What's going on? Jersey boy right here. That's right. How you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for coming on. Let's see. Let's keep it going. Want to announce third band. Of course, we can't do an A7 compilation without having them on it. The Car Bomb Parade. And here he is, the Reverend Nicky Bullets. What's up?
What's going on, guys? How are you? Great to see y'all.
Nicky.
What's going on, guys? Oh, I haven't seen you in forever.
All right. Next up, number 4. Here we go. Old friend of ours, representing Kings Never Die, formerly from Dog Eat Dog. Another Jersey guy. Here we go, Dan Nastasi. What's up, bro?
Oh,
Okay.
right. I'm Jersey guy number 2 in the loop here.
Right. Jersey guy 3, actually. It's
3.
No, actually, no. Nicky, you're in Massachusetts, right?
I am.
Yeah.
I lived in New York for a decade, so I almost got my New York wings.
Okay, almost. Hand grenades and horseshoes, bro. Okay, last up, here we go. Big 5th reveal today. Of course, another band, big supporter of the A7 shows, big supporter of New York Hardcore. We love their band. Of course, we're talking about Enziguri. We're talking about Davey Hooligan. What's up, bro?
Yo, what's up? BX.
Hey, so let's take it from you, Lenny. Crazy Eddie. Tell us name of the track and how you recorded it and why you arrived at that and are you excited to be on this thing?
Well, first off, very excited to be on this thing. The track, I'll be honest with you, Chucky came up with it. It's mostly in Spanish. We're just calling it Madre right now. Mm-hmm. We recorded it down in our drummer's basement. Jerry Farley, who a few of these guys have worked with on the same comp, came down to our spot, and we recorded everything in about 3 hours. Probably took us 5 hours to set up all the equipment, though. He literally built the studio and came to our spot and did it. You know, I think we spent more time eating pizza and setting up than actually doing the fucking recording.
That's great. AG, how about you
Look
guys?
at that
Dead Blow
treatment.
Hammer.
Dan, did you get that treatment? I didn't get that treatment.
You don't know Jerry.
All right, so we're doing the song that we're doing is called Roller. We recorded it over our studios where we practice from in Clifton. We recorded it with Ben DiGennaro. Ben DiGennaro is not a hardcore guy, but he's known in the Jersey cover band world. He's got a band called the Benjamins. Yeah, really good guy and such a pro. We've been working with him since our EP No Repercussions that came out last year.
Cool. Good. Hey, Nastasi, what about you guys? Give us a little background on Kings Never Die, the track, and just the whole thing in general.
Yeah. The track is called Stand for It All. And we also recorded with Jerry, but we recorded over at Nova Studios in New York City. And it was awesome. We actually recorded 2 songs with him. And we're going to start recording our full-length record with Jerry as well over at Nova, like the end of February, March, and April. But the song's called Stand for It All, and it's actually one of the first songs we wrote when we got together a couple years ago. So I'm excited about the song, and of course the comp. I think it's the great collection of diverse hardcore bands. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it, and that's part of what the A7 shows were all about. Is that it was really pretty diverse. The bands were it was a pretty mixed bag of bands, and they're all represented on here. 17 bands, and I think I can get away with saying this is that part of the reason we ended up with 17 bands. Because initially we thought, okay, it's going to be 12 bands. We'll give each band, 3.5 minutes or whatever. Bands started turning around and handing in songs that weren't even 2 minutes, and it created room for all these, because originally we had bands on the vinyl, and there's bands on the digital. So the understanding was always like, yo, if room frees up on the vinyl, you guys will come over from digital onto the vinyl. In the end, every band that was on the digital came over to the vinyl. Hey, Davey, tell us about you guys and your track and where you recorded and what's up.
Yeah, the track's called Stone Bastard. We recorded with Jerry Farley at drums at Nova Studio, bass at Nova Studio, guitars at I'm blanking on it. I want to say Studio B, but I know that was a venue. That wasn't the studio. And then I did the vocals with Jerry in a very secret bedroom location. It was fun. I liked it a lot. We got
In a secret bedroom
to do the intro for us. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to be part of this comp. I'm stoked.
Yeah, for sure. Raise your hand if Jerry Farley produced your track.
Okay, now here's a better question. Raise your hand if Jerry Farley does your records.
Yeah, he's doing.
It's funny because Jerry, we're getting together this whole package and everything, and we ask everybody, hey, give us the credits because we're doing like a big. I mean, I'm not going to get into details now, but there's going to be a big, extensive package to this thing. And so everybody's submitting their information, right? And Jerry Farley gets in touch with us directly, goes, could you just kind of put, Jerry Farley, produced, like this track, that track, this track, that track, this track, and this track? And we were like, no. Each band is getting their own separate credits, Each band's going to get their own separate credits. And that's who we're going to do it. But, I want to thank you guys, man, because, you guys have been a part of this A7 family. We really built something really special there. This was sort of the kind of natural progression. We ain't getting back in that room anytime soon. And it's fantastic that, we're going to have this thing out April 17th. And
Awesome.
then, theoretically, hopefully a couple months after that, we can at least, get in there to do some sort of thing, even if we do sort of like a record release thing, or we get together, we're selling them on the sidewalk and it's an excuse for everyone to get together. We're going to be doing that when this thing comes out, probably in May.
Why don't we play outside?
Yeah, if we can figure out a place to do it.
I mean, don't you know? I mean, you could pull a permit. You know how to get those.
Dude,
They won't give a permit for that shit.
Not giving out
No
permits,
way.
man.
Yo,
If I had a beer for
outside
everyone that
too
said,
is,
"Hey, Drew, you know how to get permits for Tompkins Square Park," the city's not giving permits for anything.
You mean we didn't have permits when we filmed those videos back in like 1994 and 5?
Total rogue.
Yeah, total renegade, man.
Son!
Yeah, right.
Someone's basement at least. Yeah.
Total renegade stuff. But listen, I think that in the end, if things aren't picking up, I always have the option to putting something in the Bowery Electric. Maybe we'll do like a release show in the Bowery Electric, and we'll just stream it out live with like 6 or 7 bands.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Hey, Lenny, your wife says stop
That'd be
smoking in the living room.
He's not here right now. Fuck her.
Busted.
Oh, you're gonna pay for that shit.
Hey, G, what's this park in Jersey that you guys played?
What's the what?
Park in Jersey? Didn't you guys just play in a park in Jersey?
Shoot, that was like in all the way down the shore, like
It was
the harbor. It was like for Stomp Out the Animal Abuse, Stomp Out Animal Abuse.
It was far.
Yeah, it was way down by off of Tom's River there. I think it's part of Tom's River.
Right.
Yeah. Good show. Good turnout.
That was really that was out there. But once again, listen, Pitchfork is putting it out. It's going to have extensive packaging. It's the A7 Back to the New York Hardcore Roots Music Series compilation. 17 bands. The first 5 bands that have been announced are Crazy Eddie, Dead Blow Hammer, The Car Bomb Parade, Kings Never Die, and Enziguri. And man. And there are another 12 bands to come. It's being released April 27th on Deluxe vinyl and on digital.
Look at that. Oh yeah.
So it's gonna have like fold outs and everything inside.
Dude, I don't want to get too deep into it now because we're going to be rolling it out with the designer and everything.
Word.
Like that's coming up. That's coming up pretty soon as well. But
Drew, any action figures with this too?
Yeah.
Get Rat Bones in on this.
We should
too?
get a Rat Bones action figure.
Rat Bones and Drew action figures.
Sure.
Oh,
Hey, listen.
yeah.
Speaking of, you know what? This was given to me as a Christmas gift. I have a Lori Dawn mini Drew that was given.
It looks like you.
That was given to me as a Christmas gift. Someone in my family got
give the earrings a little flick.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Right. Yep. Same thing.
I love her stuff.
So-
I love it great.
Hey, I'm a lucky dude. People love me. I'm.
You are the
But
love,
just
Drew.
on myself.
No, do good things, and good things will come to you, right? The glasses are on point. Sid says the glasses are on point. but there she is, Lori Dawn. Lori Dawn, you rule. There it is. So, what are you doing on it? Nikki Steen asks. What are you doing on the compilation, Nikki?
What am I doing?
Wearing a terrible coat.
Yeah.
I don't know. We wrote a song called Pandemic North American, and it's pretty much got it all in there, and we just can't wait to roll it out. We have an EP coming out soon, and we have been just cranking songs all pandemic. We just don't stop, and we just can't wait to give it all away to y'all. So yeah.
Well, you guys are pretty proficient, and Danny, you guys are really proficient too. Kings Never Die. You guys are always working, always doing new stuff, and always pushing it, man. Don't you guys? You guys are working towards a full length, right?
You know what I mean? What else are you gonna do? Like, so.
Yeah.
I
Why
mean,
waste time?
I had like 4 months where, you know, I mean, I didn't work for 4 months, and I'll be honest, like I just got right back into writing, and you know, we recorded 3 songs with Laz Pina again that are going to be on an EP we're releasing in March. And
the man.
yeah, and then we recorded a couple songs with the Jerry Farley, which was awesome. So we're gonna, you know, release this EP about 5-6 weeks before the comp comes out. So at least all of us have something coming, you know. Like if you didn't utilize the time, then I don't know what you were doing, you know. And then when this stuff is all being released, we're gonna be in the studio finally doing a full-length album the proper way, unbelievable producer, like just, you know. So I'm excited, man. I mean, I can't wait because it's been like 12 months. I mean, for the whole, I mean, like, look, the whole world's 12 months on pause. So it's good. And, you know, I'm excited that all the bands on this comp have something coming out, like, and the bands that utilize the time, Carbon Parade, they're writing songs. You know, I know Nzaguri's been writing. Dead Blow's in the studio. Like, it's awesome. You know what I mean? Crazy Eddie's always releasing something. Like, so I can't wait to just get new music out and hit it. Really.
Yeah, and I think that's
real.
Part of the thing with this comp, and part of the agreement that is out there with you guys is like, you know, let's get this comp out, let's get the song out, and it seems like everybody's following it up, you know, with a release. Maybe the song from the comp will be included in the big release. But this is really all original music, all like a nice little taste, you know, for everybody. This is going to be very cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, we're not going to Stanford All's on the comp. That's it. Like, that's where
that's cool.
We're not going to re-release the song. That's where it should be, you know, like.
That's cool.
Exclusive to the comp. Absolutely.
Yeah,
no, that's very cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity. Like, we all can't thank you enough, and everybody at Pitchfork and Gary for putting so much work into it. Like,
Gary.
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 Yeah, it's a lot
Gary,
of work.
You know, thanks for reminding me. You know, Gary from Dead Blow Hammer, you know, has been a real intricate part of making this happen. He's really dealt with your guys and your bullshit. You know, it's like I
Thank you, Gary.
I handled the business. He handled the bands. You know, and he was into it. He was up for the task. He was really into it. He was enthusiastic about it. He's been, you know, really a driving force in this thing. And early on, made the agreement, Gary, you handle the band, I'll handle the business, you know, with Pitchfork and the PR and shit like that. So that's said. So, hey, man, I want to keep it moving. I want to remind everybody out there, A7 compilation with Crazy Eddie, Dead Blow Hammer, Nzaguri, Kings Never Die, and the Car Bomb Parade coming out April 27th. Thanks for stopping by. Now you guys can post that flyer up and say,
now finally.
All right.
Lenny, waiting so long.
Lenny, I'll see you later.
All right, Drew. Thanks, man.
Thank you,
buddy.
Thank you, guys.
AG, I'll see you.
That's the worst thing I did,
Thanks, Drew.
Thanks, Drew.
Okay.
Thank you.
Drew.
Hey, Nikki, I'll see you in a bit, man. I love the Joe Namath thing you got going there, bro. Love it. See.
Fucking original, man.
Davey.
Fucking original.
Davey, you and Steven Messina win for best internet of the day goes to Davey Hooligan. You win the award for that. We'll talk to you in a bit, Davey. Hey, Danny, love you, bro. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, man.
soon.
Love you too.
Take care.
Everything, man.
All right. Hey, well, there you go. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. We are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, Your Core Hardcore fan page. Oi, oi, oi. We are here tonight. Oi, oi, oi. Someone's going to die tonight. The Texas Silver Rush is a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces as well as the styling for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rollet, Ringo Starr, and of course, the mighty Agnostic Front. During this current pandemic, all information and online sales are being taken. Their Facebook and Instagram page, and of course, www.thetexassilverrush.com. That said, let's bring our guest back on the show from The Abused, creator of the New York Hardcore Chronicle, creator of the New York Hardcore logo, Mr. Kevin Crowley. Woo! How about that? A7 all these years later, right?
That's nuts, man. That's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, you know what I want to talk about? I want to talk for a second because there's a great story here. Let me find this picture. Here we go. Here's a picture of you taken by this came from when I was doing the Boston hardcore film. And I got a bunch of pictures from some Boston people. I scanned a couple of rolls of film that have never been seen. I'm not sure if this is from Phil and Flash, could be Phil and Flash or Bridget Collins, but this was like, you know, how I've said before on the show, I love when I get like rolls of film and there's always like that one or two at the end of the roll that like, what? And this was one of those shots that was on at the end of that roll. And this is you and the drug-free youth jacket. Let's talk a little about the early straight edge thing in New York City and why did you gravitate towards that?
So actually, Charlie, there was Charlie was our drummer was straight edge, and you know, we'd listen to Minor Threat and all those guys, but I think the biggest appeal to me, I mean, first off is I was never, you know, I did what every other kid did back then at the time, but it was never my it was never the thing that really drew me in, you know, to be, you know, to be really high all the time and drunk. And a lot of kids were really, I mean, there was a big issue, man. A lot of guys were shooting up heroin, you know, so there was a big issue with like people ODing back then. So, but I really think what the biggest appeal to me about it was like just a sense of having some sort of control over myself. You know, when you're that age, you're a teenager, you are just in reaction mode. All you're doing is reacting to everything that's happening to you, and you don't feel like you have really any say in the matter. So what it became to me really intrinsically was just a way to feel that I could exert control over my environment, if that makes sense. Oop, I'm losing your sound there. I don't know if.
Sorry, that was my fault. I'm getting some kind of a weird audio thing here. How's that? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Was there any sort of a straight edge scene in New York in the time at all, other than you, like a handful of people?
There was. I mean, it wasn't what it ultimately turned into. I don't think it was as stringent to a degree like what you saw in DC, and you know, because those guys were leading a different life than we were leading. You know, and even the same thing for like a lot of the Boston guys. So there was a lot of kids that were kind of more into that, and it became more about, you know, just having a sense of maybe a little more power internally, and I don't know that, I don't think it really never got like to be a real preachy thing where you know, maybe a little bit, you know, it's hard to remember, that was a long time ago, but you know, I was definitely became a proponent of like of just you know, trying to to be able to control myself in whatever way I could.
People are telling me that my mic is feeding back, or there's some weird stuff happening. I'm trying to fix it. Nothing's different on my end, so I'm not sure. I'm just giving you a heads up. So this jacket, I asked you about this, and this is a funny story. We got to talk about this a little bit, because this photo came up, and I asked you if you still have this vest, and tell me what you told me. It's a great story.
I said no. It's been it was pilfered a while back, and so that I think was hanging up in a record store somewhere in the Lehigh Valley, and at one point I was like, you know what, I was thinking I should go get it back or whatever. Obviously, I think whoever had it got wind that I knew it was down there, and it was no longer there anymore. But I don't know. I think I'm assuming you're still with me there, Drew. But at some point, somebody had borrowed it for, of all things, to wear as a Halloween costume, and I never got it back after that. You know, so so it was lost to a poser. I can't hear you again, brother.
Where did the picture come from?
What was that?
Where did the picture come from?
You know what? I don't know if I think that might have been on Tumblr. And I remember people coming up to me, and I think it was when we were in. I think it's when we were down in Texas that they tried that jacket on. Like, oh yeah, I got to put the vest on. And then I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. You know what? It's probably doing better where it's at than if it was sitting in my closet, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but it is pretty iconic at this point. Let's talk a little bit. I'll try to just push through with the audio issues here, because I actually ran off and so I thought maybe my dad had it on in the other room, and somehow that was creating some weird feedback. But apparently he wasn't. Let's talk a little bit about this, which is, of course, the New York hardcore symbol, the now iconic New York hardcore symbol. We talked about it. You were gracious enough to be in my film, the New York Hardcore Chronicles film, and you really laid it out. People loved that segment. It turned out so great, you know. But you know, for those that are on the show that haven't seen the film or don't know, you created the New York Hardcore Chronicles, the New York hardcore symbol. I know you've discussed it many times, but just give kind of the abbreviated version of how it came to be.
Well, again, it was like we were all about the marketing in a lot of ways back then, and it became just a way of branding our scene. You know, it was the New York scene. You know, there was the D scene, there was the Boston scene, and we were all, everybody was really to a degree territorial back then. Like, it's not like we thought our music is better than their music. You know, don't get me wrong, man. I love the music out of all those scenes, but man, New York was like that was my hometown. You know, so that was like, you know, it's just like I rooted for the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same the same difference. So we and I put hey, it seems pretty simple, but believe it or not, a lot of thought went into it, and a lot of back and forth, and then I just started using it on the flyers, and it caught on as a you know, became a thing that was like really open source for everybody to use, to have you know, to help unify the scene, because that, you know, everything back then was kind of an us versus them, and probably still is to a degree for people, where you want to have a sense of a unity with, you know, with the people that you know, that scene, man. Those people become your family, that becomes who you're those are the people you rely on, and it really so it was important to me, and I think it was and that's what I think why it took off so much is because maybe it was important to everybody to just have something that felt like it tied us together. Yeah, I mean, I never thought it would turn into what it turned into, but it's crazy. It's like all over the place now in a million versions of became more of a hipster logo than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like you said back then, everybody was sort of like on the team, so it was like, it was all like there wasn't anything divisive happening within the scene yet, so.
That's right. And it didn't matter. Hey, I was straight edge, but there, I just read in some of the comments that it became very a lot of stuff became exclusionary afterwards. But at that point, man, there were so few of us that it was you needed all the friends you could get.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. I also love this, and let's talk a little bit about the work gloves, and that have become so sort of synonymous with New York hardcore. What's your take on how did the work glove thing cut? Actually, you know what? I got to read you something. All right. This is, and I quote you, my friend, on the subject of construction gloves. I remember Dave, the owner of A7, putting me on probation. He asked, "Why are you wearing these gloves here? You want to hit people, don't you?" He always wanted me to take them off when I was in the club.
Dave. Yep. Yeah. He yelled at me. He was, yeah.
What's with the gloves?
He totally called me out. He was like, "I know why you're wearing those gloves." It was like, I'm like, "Oh, okay, I won't hit anybody." But it was we got into so many fights back then that it just was a way of protecting your hands was one thing too. And it was, again, I'm going to go back to the whole comic book persona. Look at any comic book character. What are they wearing? Right? They got big gloves on. So it was just kind of you are what you project. We talked about that a little bit earlier too. So like you said, "Oh, you were such a big dude." I was probably a skinny dude wearing big gloves. Is what it was. But
absolutely. Let me see if I got any other. This rang my bell a little bit because this is like a very hold on, what's happening here? Hold on. Technology. You must behave, technology. This is like the Abused here playing with SSD Control and Legal Weapon, a sort of forgotten band from that era at Great Gildersleeves. And I noticed that Abused played Gildersleeves like a couple of times. You remember?
That was actually a great venue. I mean, they really had a good sound system there and everything. It was a great play. I remember we played a show there with TSOL.
Yeah, I have that flyer too. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this is like, we always talk about A7 and then the CB's matinees, but Gildersleeves was sort of like a venue that doesn't get a lot of mention.
Yeah, Gildersleeves was definitely a great place to play. I mean, so A7 was A7, and CB's really, that started out was a little latecomer to the scene in terms of starting to have the matinees there. There was that 2+2 was opened up and did some shows, but like CB's always had a great stage and sound system. Gildersleeve's had a great stage and sound system. Irving Plaza, great stage.
Oh yeah.
And sound system. You know, so like if you got to play those places, you got to sound good. You know, it's a. But we never played. We never got to play Irving Plaza. I would have always loved to play that place. But and then there's another place was out Zappa's out in Brooklyn.
Here's before we get to Zappa's, that I'm going to talk about that. Here's the TSOL Gildersleeves, and this of course being flyer number 12. This is sort of coming to the end of the run, isn't it?
Yeah, so we were a little further along in our career, and the one thing that we played probably one of our I think personally one of our best sets ever at that show. You know, we were on point, we were tight. You know, everything was like we were definitely in a groove, and I just remember to me one of the things that stuck out is the drummer from TSOL came up to us after the show after we got off done our set. He's like, and he was like a lot older than us too, you know, and he's like, "Hey man, you guys, that was a great set." We were just like, "Wow, the guy from TSOL just said we did a great show." You know, it was like, to us, it was like a big moment. You know, it's kind of funny when you
the TSOL guys were like 3 years older than us, which back then it was like, you know, we were 18, they were 21. You know,
yeah, I know.
That's really awesome. You see, I got a couple others here. Where's this? This one's great. I mean, this harkens to, of course, the CBGB's matinees. You know, this whole bit. Fly at 13, 1983. Hey, didn't you mention isn't something happening with these flyers possibly?
Yeah. So actually, I'm looking to do. I'm actually talking to somebody about it right now. We're trying to put together a limited edition. We're going to actually do silk screens on like 11 by 14 format paper for signed and sell them as a series. We're just trying to kind of work out all the details, and then we would probably do like a pre-order with them and just print up whatever is actually pre-ordered. So there will be more on that at some point.
Yeah, because people love these things, and we sort of live in the world now where like people really appreciate when that stuff sort of is revitalized and has a new life and is packaged properly. People dig it, man. You know.
Yeah, you know, it's a piece. It really at this point is a piece of history, and I did from my intention from the get-go was going to be, hey, this is something people will hang up on their walls. You know, was to produce a piece of an actual piece of artwork. If you only knew how many hours I spent drawing those flyers, it was ridiculous.
This one is incredible, man. I mean, this one isn't, and it says on it, for those that can't read it, there once was a man from Tabas, whose balls were made out of brass. When in stormy weather they rubbed together, lightning came out of his ass.
Yes, I was mature beyond my years even back then.
You know, I'm glad one of us. And here's kind of the last one that I'm going to put up. This looks like, I don't know if this doesn't look like this. This one might not have come from you. Hold on. Yeah, this one was sort of in my collection. I don't know if this one. Which one is this? Flyer 8.
Right, that was a CB's matinee. And I think I remember if that one was that the one that was done around the time of the SATs?
Yeah, take the SAT, then come to the show. A good way to get out your frustrations. That's awesome. It says at the bottom. Hold on, I'll read it again. It's awesome. take the SAT, then come to the show, exclamation point, and then in parentheses, a good way to get out your frustrations. And then, and there's, you know, there's our New York hardcore symbol. Above it, it says support New York hardcore. And this is friggin' 1982.
Yeah, 82.
Wow. That is, you know, I mean, I'm sure it's surreal. Someone just sent me this photo of a tattoo. I'm sure you get this, you know, all the time, like, yo, you know, but, you know, there you go. I mean, it must be why. I'm sure you've had people, you know, look at this, bro, you know.
Yeah.
Do you have it?
No, you know what? I actually, no, I never got that tattooed on me, believe it or not.
Me neither.
I was busy giving everybody else jailhouse tattoos to get my own tattoos.
I don't have it either. And like lately I've been sort of, you know, for years I was like, man, I'm glad I didn't put anything like that on my body, you know? And now like I'm sort of getting to the age where I'm like, you know what? I kind of want like a New York hardcore tattoo, like by Vinnie Stigma or something, you know? Like I'm starting to feel like that could be
yeah, just what I need on my wrinkly middle-aged body.
Yeah. I want to ask you, so the abused kind of, you know, you wind down and play your last show, I believe sometime in 83. And is it not until 2008 when we played together and did that A7 Knitting Factor? Was that your get together?
Yeah, you know, so you know, there was never any big like event where we broke up or anything like that happened. We just all kind of went on divergent paths and just kind of started doing our own thing. You know, Raph went on to GIT. He went and studied like you know, he plays flamenco guitar. He does
yeah, he's a very, very talented guitar player.
Yep, you know, and you know, Dave became a union carpenter and did his own. You know, he moved out to Florida. Brian actually got into like all kinds of martial arts, and I think he was living in China for a year or so or whatever. You know, so everybody kind of went their own way and did their own thing. We did rehearse for a number of months after our last show where we were still going, but we didn't, you know, when we first started out, we were rehearsing in the Lerner Music Building. I don't know if you guys should know where that is, but that was the place to you know, to rehearse, you know, so we actually subletted space. I think we sublet off to somebody else's sublet. You know, we were probably like one of like four bands that were like, we were 4 layers down in the usage of but it was you know, it was really cool because like you would go in there, man, and it was just inducive to want to play music. But you know, by that time we had lost that space, and you know, it just we all had different shit going on. And you know,
and then years later, like 2008, you guys played a show.
Yeah, it was Brian Swirsky reached out to us, and we're like, all right, let's do it. And we were able to make it work financially. You know, at this point, Dave is living in New Mexico, so it became a lot of logistics to make it happen. And you know, we had one rehearsal together before that show.
One?
Yes, the day of. Actually, I think we might have done 2. We might have had the night before and the morning of.
And you remembered all the lyrics?
Well, hey, I had to go back through my notebooks and go through stuff. So basically, what we were doing was like I was practicing to the 7-inch on cassette.
Oh yeah, right.
Or you know, just kind of try to get everything back together. But what I got to tell you, the weirdest thing was like we hadn't seen each other. All four of us had not been together like that since we were a band, and
Wow.
the energy was no different, man. It was like
That's awesome.
it was like we never, like you would not have known that many years went on.
That's awesome, man. So you get together and do the Knitting Factory show in 2008. Then 2 years later, some dude in St. Louis offers you a couple bucks to play his birthday party in St. Louis, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then 2 years after that, in 2012, you play Chaos in Tejas.
Yep.
And you guys haven't played since 2012.
Yeah, we've had. I mean, exactly. We haven't been. The whole thing for us has always been, hey, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do just the four original members.
Yeah.
Keep it real. It's not like, listen, this is never going to be a give up my day job situation for me. So it's we wanted to keep it be, I guess, for me, I'm speaking for myself. I can't speak for everybody in the band, obviously, but for me, I wanted it to be as sincere as possible, even even if we are guys and they're at the time in their 40s getting up there playing music that they played when they were in their teens, but it wasn't about hey, we're reliving our heyday.
Yeah.
And it was just about like, hey, you know what? This is still a part of us that is always going to be a part of us. And it's amazing how the older you get, and I'm sure your listeners and viewers are all different ages, but anybody that's our age will contest that the older you get, the more you realize, like, I'm the same immature 15-year-old kid mentally that I was 40 years ago.
Absolutely. I like what Joe the Mouth from Ice Cold Killer says. Make it happen in 2021, Drew. You can do it. Yes, there's no doubt I can do it. With great power comes great responsibility, however, and I can only use my powers once in a while at this point. So, we all know that I have these superpowers. I can make things like, I can make an Abused reunion happen. I can make an A7 compilation happen. I can do these things. But with great power comes great responsibility, and these things have to be really thought out well. So don't worry. Yeah. So for sure. I mean, let me ask you this. I'm a singer in a band. I've been doing it as long as you have. And I know for me, and it's like a question that sometimes I haven't got the chance to ask it. But to Henry Rollins or Ian from Minor Threat, I know everybody's an individual, but I know for me, singing for originally the Mighty COs and then the High and the Mighty and then Antidote, it's just I love it. I do it. I've learned to once in a while, I like to get up there and just scream my friggin' brains out and just go big and just get the living crap kicked out of me. It's like a real sort of, do you ever really miss it?
Dude, it's the original high intensity, the hit training. It's singing in a hardcore punk band is like doing intervals. You got 30 seconds of raw, just out there emotion. Then you got to take about a minute to catch your breath. Then you got another 30-second song. But 100%, man. Like that part of it. That part of it, I'll probably be able to do it until the day I die. Just ask my wife and kids. Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
But
I just.
100%. But you know what? I look at guys, I look at Agnostic Front. I look at guys like Vinnie, and come on, Vinnie's older than we are, and I look at Roger. Roger's our age.
Roger's our age. Vinnie's like 4 years older than us, bro.
And
or more.
Doing those few shows we did, and the jet lag and like
Right.
holy fuck, how do those guys go on tour and do this shit year after year? You know, that's freaking hard work.
Yeah, it is. And that's why, like, you know, I know you don't get a chance to see a lot of this stuff at this point, but like bands like Sick of It All, it's almost like when you see Sick of It All, it's like an aerobics workout. It's like something out of Jane Fonda's workout.
I'm out of breath just talking about it.
Seriously. Hey, let me do a final shout out to my sponsors, and then we'll come back and we'll take a couple questions. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
All right, here we go. Great show. We got Kevin Crowley, our old friend from The Abused and the creator of the New York Hardcore logo. Boom. We are the New York Hardcore Chronicles live, and we are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, and Your Core Hardcore fan page. Not to forget our friends at Fryette Amplification, and of course, Warren and Pitchfork. They are putting out the A7 compilation. Today was the big reveal. First 5 bands in the A7 compilation: Enziguri, the Car Bomb Parade, Kings Never Die, and Crazy Eddie, and Deb Blowhammer. And this Sunday, we will be doing another reveal with a couple more bands and keeping it moving. In the meantime, I want to announce a couple of shows. Sunday, January 31st, Philadelphia Represent. Chuck Treese is coming on the show. We're excited about that. Chuck Treese is going to bring some Philly history. Of course, Chuck played with McRad, Underdog, Bad Brains, and he was a pro skater. Chuck is a great guy. We are looking forward to having Chuck Treese on the show. That said, after that is the 100th show. We are all excited about this. Of course, Jamie Jasta from Hatebreed coming on the show. This is going to be a landmark show. We're going to have a lot of special guests. Yeah, Chico, man, don't miss Chuck. Chuck's a good dude. Yes, McRad, absolutely. Jamie Jasta coming on the show. I was just on Jamie's show. If anybody wants to check that out, you know, if you really want to hear me talking about me some more, like, I got to admit, at this point, I'm sick of it. Like, I'm not doing any more podcasts. I don't want to talk about it anymore. No more. But if you want to hear one last one, listen to Jamie's podcast. You can hear me talk about me. Enough of me talking about me. Let's hear you talk about me. So, yeah. So Jamie Jast is coming up. We're psyched on that. And then special announcement, brand new show, has not been announced publicly yet. And listen, if you were a patron on Patreon, you would know this already. All the shows are released on Patreon first. Please support this show on Patreon. Also, there's a PayPal address if you want to make a single donation. Don't be shy, let it fly. But, you know, join on Patreon. That's our community, and I release all kinds of stuff there, and we have our own kind of communication there. But coming up, here we go. Let me clear the deck. Coming up on Sunday, February 14th, you hear it here first. From Absolution and Burn, Gavin Van Vleck is coming on. So this should be cool. Another show rich in New York hardcore history and folklore. Gavin is on the way. Thank you. Yes, I just did an interview, Kill by Desk, which is an interesting, Kill by Desk is an interesting podcast. Their sort of premises, what do these kind of punk rock and hardcore guys who you know, who you love, what do they do? What are like their regular jobs? What do they do like to pay the bills? In my case, it's not much of a secret. It's not much of a stretch. You know, people that might know me from, you know, Antidote or whatever, you know, I'm a filmmaker. That's kind of how I pay the bills. That's what I do. But I talk about how I came up and a lot of my films. Lenny, is that right, Lenny? Is that right, Lenny?
Yeah. Gavin set the bar real high for us, you know, especially during the Fahrenheit days. I can't say enough good things about Gavin, to be really honest with you.
Yeah, man. I
Oh,
mean,
guy, he also wanted to kick the shit out of me at one point too.
yo, Gavin was always a tough, kind of scary dude, you know?
Yeah, but it wasn't healthy that I was heckling when I was drunk.
Yeah, that's not a good move. And yo, he used to drink too, and he's like the juggernaut, bro. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah. I was actually fearful for my fucking life that he was gonna.
But his guitar playing, I mean, you know what? Now that you mention that, I could see the similarities in a certain regard. He's a Les Paul guy, right?
Yeah, he's a Les Paul guy. He got me thinking outside of the box. When I first heard that first Burn EP, especially.
Yeah.
You know, and then I mean, Die 116 is a very underrated band that he had after Burn. That was just way the fuck outside of left field.
Yep, absolutely. All right, buddy. Thank you for coming back in on that.
No problem.
All right. So yeah, a couple questions here. People asking, does he? Yes. Gavin was a graph guy. Absolutely. I'm not sure what the throw up is behind him. Michael Alago took this photo, so I'm not exactly sure what's behind him. But Gavin was and part of the early New York hardcore graffiti game. He talks about it in the New York Hardcore Chronicles film. What was it? What was his? Was it Naz? I'm trying to remember. Somebody out there. What was Gavin's graffiti handle? What was it? Naz or something? I'm sort of Nats. That's it. Nats. That's it. There you go. Yes, Gavin puts on one hell of a show as well. So Gavin's coming up. Lots of cool things. Nats. That's it. Thanks, Chris. Nats. That was Gavin. That said, let's take some questions. For our guest Kevin Crowley, about his art, original New York hardcore designer, The Abused, or any early New York hardcore stuff. So please, if you got a question, post it up. We also do the super chat. If you have a burning desire, some money burning in your pocket, do a super chat. It catches my eye. I can't miss it. I'll definitely ask it. So that case. So let's bring our guest back, Mr. Kevin Crowley. Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's up?
Let's start out with this. Is Kevin still drawing artwork, and has he considered doing a coffee table book with his previous work in it? Love his work as both a singer in one of my favorite bands and also as an artist. Abused in Europe?
Hey, so we actually had thought about doing it as a coffee table book at one point in time. I mean, but it's really, it's a kind of a finite amount of flyers.
Yeah.
It'd be a small book,
but damn, they're good.
Yeah, but damn, they're good. So really, it becomes like if you know what becomes the best way to release it. And when we did when Radio Raheem released that 12-inch the
Abused,
the reissue, yeah.
Let me just point out real quick to everyone. Radio Raheem, who does great packaging and great reissues. They did the original High and the Mighty demo. They've done a lot of stuff. They re-released the Abused 12-inch, which I checked is unavailable at this point. I guess they sold out of it, but the packaging on it was stellar. Yeah,
a lot of they put a lot of thought into how they wanted to present that. And so we did. I mean, I gave them real high resolutions of the scans of the flyers at that point, and we tried to take a mixed match of photos and really create a sense. So that insert in there was almost in of itself almost like a soft cover coffee table book.
It really was. And if I remember correctly, that was sort of the 7-inch, the demo, and a couple live tracks.
Correct. It was a mix of a bunch of stuff and a couple of and there was I think one live track that was never released in recording beforehand.
Okay. Here's another one from our boy Joe the Mouth from the Icicle Killers. Kevin, do you think the New York should be up and down or left and right? Put an end to the arguments.
Hey, look it. I'm going to tell you, as drawn, refer to the original flyers. That's how, when I first drew it, that's how I did it, was the NY going across the HC up and down. Dude, in the end, it doesn't matter one way or the other. It served the same purpose.
Right. Here's a question from our resident historian and singer for Crazy Eddie, who are appearing on the A7 compilation coming out April 27th on Pitchfork. Chucky Brown says, during the recording for the Loud and Clear 7-inch, while recording the vocal tracks, they made a box out of soundproof panels in the middle of the floor. He climbed in it and they sealed it shut. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then they sealed it like an animal. Like an animal. They sealed you in, huh?
I guess the point was just to try to get the vocals to sound a certain way. So we were messing around. I don't know that it really had any effect on anything, but it seemed really cool to a bunch of teenagers at the time. Like, yeah.
That makes sense. I'm not an animal. I'm a human being.
Yeah. Well, depends who you ask.
Oh, God. You know what? Everyone's going on about the Scott Ian thing and Scott Ian trying to the whole thing about Anthrax trying to copyright the New York Hardcore logo. Did you ever hear anything about that?
Scott who?
Scott Ian from Listen, this is a little awkward for me because I'm friends with those guys, and and I know there's all this New York hardcore, typical drama and folklore about I tried to.
Dude, who knows? I don't know what's true and what's not true.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, and somebody did copyright the logo.
Really?
Oh yeah, some guy in Allentown. But I thought about reaching out to him and hey, dude, what the fuck? But it's not. No one's making $1 million off of this thing right now. Anyway, it's not come on. It's. I know. What am I going to do? Cease and desist, everybody. Stop using the logo.
Here's one from Thomas Starkey, our good friend. What comic books influenced Kevin's style?
First off, they had to be Marvel comics at the time.
My man.
So I was a Marvel man, but totally was into Captain America. That's Captain Hardcore is like a Captain America.
Yeah.
I still have my collection. And hey, believe it or not, I have all the original Star Wars comics when they first came out with this.
Is that right?
Any of you comic collectors there, including the edition the reprints that they came out that were not that didn't have the barcode on them.
You remember that, Rat Bones?
Yeah, man.
You remember that?
That's a pricey book, the first Star Wars book.
The first Star Wars book didn't have a barcode on it?
1, 2, and 3.
I guess what would it be? You got it by subscription back then, or the newsstand?
The newsstand. It was the place that was. There was that comic book store over on. I want to say it
St.
was.
Mark's?
No. It was over on the west side by. I want to say
Midtown Comics.
No, downtown. It was downtown in the Village. I want to say it was down near Christopher Street, kind of right off 7th Avenue, maybe down there.
That one I don't remember.
Downstairs on 6th Avenue, over there now. I don't know. That's back then you're talking.
Yeah, this was a little farther west, and I used to go in there, whenever I had a few extra bucks.
Do you still have your comic book collection, Kevin?
I sure do.
You know what? Guys like you, bro. It's like I got rid of everything. The comic books, the baseball cards, all the hardcore tee, all the records. I just didn't want anything in my, I just want to live with a toothbrush. I want nothing in this life. And I have my oldest friend in the world that I grew up with, he's my oldest friend, still has the comic books, still has the baseball cards, still has every record he ever bought. And I look at his collection, I'm like, it makes me nervous, bro.
There's a lot of memories there, man.
So do you have a toothbrush collection?
One toothbrush, bro.
No, just one toothbrush. All right.
I want nothing, bro. I want nothing.
One thing, Drew. I've been watching the show, man, back here, watching backstage, and I want to say, man, it's so cool to see you talking, Kevin, and hear about this shit because, you know, I'm that generation right beyond you, like that went on. We were the posers that came behind you guys. That's how you felt. I get that feeling, you know. So that, like, I got that tattooed on me and I really believed it the way I did, you know, that was just from you guys hanging out. Like, and the other thing I always said too, like, you always fantasize we'll be famous one day. Oh, I always said if someone hangs my photograph on their basement wall the way I hung my Led Zeppelin or my Ozzy picture on my wall, like, I made it. That was making it to me back then as a kid. And now, like, we're kind of do it, you know, we kind of did make it and we didn't sell out. We're like you said, we're the same 16-year-old kids that were in the basement drinking together or hanging together and maybe not drinking and all going for the band, you know, like the music really tied us up.
Hey, you got a New York hardcore tattoo, Rat Bones?
I got one.
There we go.
Sid.
I'll see you in hell.
Sid gave me this at the Roseland Tattoo Convention one year. I just happened to be in there. I got in free somehow. And Sid was like, it was like they were closing down all the booths. And Sid's like, come on, Rapon, sit down. He had just started tattooing. And
Who did? Who?
Sid from Gorilla Biscuit.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony.
He's like, sit in the chair, Rapon. I got you, man, real quick. You know, so he threw that little jammy on my hand real quick. And then when he got done, you know, the scumbag I am, I'm like, oh, can you just throw the NYHC really quick next to it? Because coming from you, like Russ Wheeler from Underdog tattooed my Underdog face on my knee. Jimmy G tattooed my M in my Murphy's Law. That's what makes tattoos really special. So
all right, let me hey Steven.
What's up?
Yes, sir. In the heart of darkness. What's happening, bro? Yeah,
I'm enjoying the ride.
Hey, anything for Kevin?
You know what? Rappo's pretty much just said it. You know, just been you know, just enjoying the days of old. You know, actually, you know what's kind of cool is I think the coolest thing is that having Vinnie Stigma get the New York hardcore tattoo on the side of his head as like a 62-year-old.
That's true.
You know, you can't beat that.
No. Have you seen that, Kevin? You know that Stigma has it on the side of his head now.
No, I didn't see. When did he get that?
It's like hold on, let me see if I can find it as we're talking.
He got it, and he also got it on his wrist as well, on the back of his hand. Yeah, he's your poster boy right there.
I got it. Oh no, I don't got it. That's not it.
I mean, Vinny could get away with it, but like those dudes that got it 20 times on them in different fonts, and that gets a little carried away.
Well, you know, it's funny how you have all of the players in hardcore that do their merch. You know, like Danny Diablo does his NYHC, and Hoya does his, and Mike Gallo does his, and it's kind of cool because everybody gets to kind of put their own little, you know, spin on it. You know, you
don't see it here, Kevin, but on the other side of the shaved, he has it like it's like right here. It's huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he's 62 friggin' years old. You know,
actually, he's 65 now.
65.
Yeah, crazy.
That is nuts, man. That's really wild. Okay.
And he was.
Before I go, Drew, I want to say one last thing, and then you can dump me off and get rid of me off.
I could dump you like a body. I could dump you like a body out at Kennedy Airport in the 50s.
All right, listen, Kevin. It's cool that you're on the show today too, for the reason that we're doing that. You know, Drew's put this compilation together, and it really shows that, like, you know, things spiderweb off. An idea is an idea until you have something tangible to hold in your hand. And I think it's really cool that you're on today's show and we renounce that stuff. And it's like, it's all happening over again. And some of us go, I'm old enough to be like, I think that's kind of dead now. But the younger generation showing me, man, it's really not dead at all. Like I was dying off. So even an old dinosaur like me can learn something new, man. It's cool, man, you know? So Drew, that's awesome that you're doing the compilation like that. And Kevin, it was so nice to meet you. And, You know, your little ideas you had in the bathroom '87 where you're shaving your buddy's head, like you know, we did that too. Detroit, I remember doing that too. One kid had one time an extent, but that was a different. We were getting the long hairs. We had
I might have cut some kid's hair that was long.
behind the bar, and then lure like dudes over to the bar to talk to us, and then like dude would zip out and shave a couple locks off, you know.
All right, bro. Rapos, I'll talk to you soon.
Good memories.
Thanks,
All right.
Rapos.
Man.
Steven, anything on the way out?
Nah, just a pleasure to meet you, you know, and hope, you know, come back soon anytime and, you know, be safe out there.
Are you in the closet? Someone wants to know?
No, I'm in the here. Look here. This is where I am. Look here.
Oh, looks like you just passed Babylon.
Nah, we're not on I'm on the wrong Konkoma line.
Oh, of course. All right, buddy. Thank you. Thank you so much. And
Later, guys.
I'll talk to you soon, man.
Yep.
Hey, wait, you know what, Steven? You still there?
Yeah.
Do you ride in the conductor's booth?
That's where I'm sitting right now.
Damn, bro.
Here, I'll give you a little tour here.
Wow.
It's a little dark, but it's because it's dark out. So this way, you know.
Listen, bro, you got the best of two worlds. You're riding in the conductor's booth, and you're a crucial participant of the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know, I do this because number one, I don't want to take a seat from a paying customer, and number two, I can take my mask off because I can't ride for an hour and 5 minutes with the mask on. I get really out of hand. So
better you than me, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Exactly. Be safe, everybody.
Live long and prosper.
I can't do that thing with my hand now.
I'll see you. Kevin, we have our friend Carl Serio says, I remember Kevin and his buddy borrowed a car and came to Nutley to skate our ramp. We told the little kid next door that it was Mr. T and his manager.
Yeah, actually, I remember that. Did
I hear some crazy story about some weird story about how you guys got into hardcore? Like you stole a car and there's minor. I know it's not true, but tell us about that folklore story. That's pretty out there.
So this, I think, is where that folklore story comes from. So there's a story out there, and somebody asked me, I heard that you guys stole, the way you guys got into hardcore music is you stole a car and, you found inside the car was a Minor Threat cassette and you listened to that. And then that's what turned you into hardcore. First off, I don't know anybody that was listening to Minor Threat at that point in New York City that could afford a car, but that's a whole nother story. But the other, the thing is so we went out, we did a little tour, hanging out with the guys. We went out to visit the ramp that the guys had set up in Nutley, New Jersey. And the dude that was driving us around, we didn't realize until after the fact that we'd been driving around that whole time in a stolen car. Hey.
That's great how that somehow, how did a story like that even
and that's the only thing.
It's almost like you should leave it alone. It's so great.
So now we know who started that story. It was probably the little kid next door is probably the one that started that whole story.
That's really great. Hey man, I want to thank you for coming on the show. It was a lot of fun. We had a couple of laughs. That's the real currency we have in this life. You're welcome. You're welcome. And every few years, you and me reconnect and we do a little something, and I really appreciate, you've always been supportive of my art, and I thank you for it, man.
Yeah, you do great stuff, man. Keep it going.
Anybody you want to shout out on the way out? You want to shout anybody out on the way out?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, just first off, to anybody that's listening to this, thanks for tuning in. And to all my friends from a lifetime past, whether you're still with us or not, man, hope everything is well.
Take care of yourself out there, and I'll see you soon, man.
All right, man. Thanks.
Take care. Well, there you go. Great guest. Kevin Crowley from The Abused, also the creator of the New York hardcore symbol. This is, and soon to be was, the New York Hardcore Chronicles. There it is, the New York hardcore symbol. Isn't that amazing? That guy created it. That is just so awesome. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, and Your Core Hardcore fan page. That said, you know what? Before I dash out the door, just a reminder of a couple things here. Let me as a last shout out on the way out the door here. Coming up this Sunday, Scott Vogel from Terror and from Buried Alive. We will also be doing the next reveal on the next couple of bands for the A7 comp. Some great ones. We're also going to talk about the packaging on Sunday's show. A week from today, another incredible New York hardcore artist. Of course, I'm talking about Sean Taggart, who did the Agnostic front covers, Crumbsuckers, Jerky Boys, etc., etc. A week from Sunday, my old friend Igor Cavalera from Sepultura, Cavalera Conspiracy, Soul, Wax, and Mix Hell. And then 2 weeks from today, the one, the only Miss Mina Caputo from Life of Agony. So all that's coming in. Hey, Joe the Mouth, Ice Cold Kills. Nice to see you tuning in on the show today. Really glad to see you out there. Todd Hamilton, Larry Kelly, Daisha, Chris Bunkley, everybody, man. Thank you so much. It was a great show. A lot of fun. I love doing the show. I love our worldwide hardcore community. So thank you. I'll see you soon. Until then, do good things, and good things will come to you.